Hey everybody, it's Brandon the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend, and so that means that I am often at Port Miami sailing on Freedom of the Seas. Now recently, the Port of Miami has increased their parking fee to $28 per day or $84 for an entire weekend sailing. Now this is a pretty big cost when you do it every weekend, and so it's got me thinking, what are some alternatives or some other options that might work to allow me to save some money? And so with that, Brightline service, which is a private-owned train service down in South Florida, has reopened post-COVID. And so I want to walk you through what this train service looks like, and is it a good experience for cruise ship passengers? So we're going to go through and talk about the experience of Brightline, what it's like to really ride Brightline. We're going to talk about the cost. We're going to talk about some alternatives, and then we're going to say, is it worth it? Do I want to do that again after my last experience on the Brightline? So let's dive on in. So the first thing to note is that Brightline currently, as of the filming of this, which is February 2022, only serves 3 stations. So they're going to take off from West Palm, they're going to have a train station in Fort Lauderdale, and they're going to have a train station in downtown Miami. They are in the process of expanding that up to Orlando and adding a few more stations in between, but today it is only those 3 stations. In thinking about taking Brightline, and why I haven't done it sooner, is because that they really haven't done a good job of figuring out how to get me from my house to the Port of Miami. So I didn't want to take an Uber to the train station down to Miami and then take another Uber, but luckily Brightline, I think, has realized that this is an issue for a lot of folks, how to get to your end destination or how to get to the train station in the first place. And so they have recently rolled out Brightline Plus, and this is what really convinced me that, you know what, it's time to give Brightline a shot. Now Brightline Plus currently is a complimentary service that will pick you up from your house and take you to the train station, and then once you get to your final destination, will take you from the train station over to your final destination. Now with this, there's some key places that are unfortunately missing because they just have to go through, I think, a licensing or permitting process, but they cannot pick up from the airports, and they cannot take you to Port of Miami. So in my case, I'm only able to take this complimentary service from my house to Fort Lauderdale Station, and then I can call an Uber when I get to the other side to finally get me to the Port of Miami. Now they have 2 different fare types that you can choose from. Their select fare, which is kind of their economy version, if you will, is going to come with a shared ride van, and you're going to have your premium ticket or their first class style ticket that you can purchase that will come with a private car. So I'm trying to save money, so I booked that shared ride and select ticket from my house to the train station. Now this was a really easy experience. They do have a built-in app that starts texting you, and you can track your driver. So to give you some of the date timestamps on that, at 11:18 I got my initial text saying that he was on his way. The driver arrived at 11:37, and then we were at the station at 11:50 for a 12:25 train departure. Now the shared vehicle was actually very large. I was the only one in it. There was plenty of space, and they had a lot of space in the back for luggage. So if you're going on a cruise, you're probably going to have a lot of luggage, and so they do have capacity to store that, and the driver could not have been more friendly and more personable. Getting to the station, you were dropped off at the very front entrance of the station. You walk in, you're greeted by their guest services team. You'll go up the escalators and through a quick security scan. So it is a metal detector and x-ray machine. And they are elevators that are around. I did not locate the elevators in Fort Lauderdale, interestingly enough, so I took the escalators with my luggage, but if you're traveling with luggage, I find elevators can oftentimes be much, much easier. You'll then see that they have this beautiful bar set up right there in the middle of the station that split to the left and to the right, and they've also got a self-checkout snack section over on the left-hand side, so if you want to purchase some snacks for your trip, you can do that. One thing I will call out here is if you are going to be drinking at the bar, consider buying the premium ticket because drinks are going to run you about $7 to $8 at the station and on the train, but a premium pass does come with complimentary alcohol while you're at the station in the premium section, so you get your own first class style section for Brightline if you buy the premium ticket, and you're going to get alcohol service on the train ride as well. So the station was beautiful. It was very well kept. It was a little bit warm the day that I was there, but I was only there for a few moments, and 5 minutes before the train came in, they did make the all aboard announcement, or the now boarding. I took the escalators downstairs to my boarding station where I waited for the train and then was able to easily board it on time at 12:25. Now, going onto the train car, the first thing that I noticed for us cruise people with luggage is that you're going to want to book at the front or the end of the train car. So that's where they do have assigned seats. That's where the luggage racks are going to be. And I personally just like sitting near my luggage. I don't like putting it somewhere and then walking 10 seats in front of it or more. So do try to book the front or the last car if you can. The train has full Wi-Fi, which worked really well when I was there. Again, complimentary staff that's going to be coming by, and they have full beverage cart that's going to have all sorts of alcohol and snacks that you can also drink and order while you're on the train. Getting into Port Miami, it is a 2 elevator situation or 2 escalator situation to get downstairs and get out of the terminal. We did arrive on time to the train station, so we got there at 1:02. I went outside and did call my Uber that arrived at 1:09 p.m. and I was dropped off at the port at 1:21 p.m. So all in all, it took about an hour and 45 minutes from my house all the way to the cruise port to complete the Go Brightline journey for a cruise ship. So the cost of all this, so as a cruise ship passenger, for me to go from my house to Port Miami via Brightline, the fare ticket was about $17. It is an on-demand model, so if you're booking that earlier, you can get it for a cheaper price, potentially, or if you book it later, you can get it for a more expensive price. A premium ticket, so if you want to do that private car, is going to be about $37 or $44. I also tipped my shuttle driver, so the gentleman that picked me up in the shared van, I did give him a $5 tip as well, even though it was a complimentary ride, and I had to get an Uber from the Miami train station to Port Miami, which was another $12. So all in, I spent $34 to take the Brightline from my house to Port Miami. Now, the biggest alternative to this, and the one that I've struggled with or thought about the most as an alternative, is just taking an Uber directly from my house directly to Port Miami. Now, I live about 34 or 35 miles away from Port Miami, and it takes about 45 minutes to 50 minutes to make this journey. Uber X, which is their introductory car, charges about $55 for this price, pending it's not surging. If you are a larger family or have a lot of suitcases, you're going to need to go up to the Uber XL, and this is really going to drive your cost up a little bit more. So the round trip savings for this is going to be, Uber's going to cost you $55 or $110 round trip, whereas Brightline's going to be $34 one way or $68 round trip. Now, this is going to be a total savings for a weekend journey of about $42 or $21 each way to the cruise port. Now, these are my personal savings, so if you live further away, so if you're in West Palm, for instance, taking Brightline will probably make more sense because you live farther away, and an Uber from West Palm all the way down to Miami is going to be much more expensive. If you are a larger family, so if you're buying 4 or 5 train tickets, plus you're buying an Uber XL, that's all going to change the numbers, but that's how the math works out for my particular situation. Now, the biggest question here is the juice worth the squeeze on this? Now, I know us cruise ship people are always trying to save $1, and we will reprice a cruise fare in a heartbeat to save money. Now, people that I think this is a really good fit for are if you have children that would really enjoy a train ride. I know my nephew would be a huge fan of having a train ride thrown in here. Or if you're coming from West Palm, it's going to save you a lot more money to take the train than to take Uber the entire way. Or if you just want to just go ahead and start your vacation and enjoy the train ride as part of your vacation. For me, I'm looking at this as for an additional $21. So if I pay like a premium of $21, I can cut an hour out of the time to get to the port. I'm going to take out 2 transfers and take out the possibility that the train could run late, and just go directly to Port Miami and go ahead and start my vacation for $21. For me personally, I'm probably going to continue going that route when Brightline builds out their Miami Station to Port Miami option. I may give them another whirl at that point, but as long as Uber X remains around the $55 mark, and Brightline is going to take me, $17, $20, I think that I'm probably always going to wind up paying that extra fare. Now, I love mass transit. I wish that this was not the case, but when it comes to my vacation, I want to get there and get on the cruise ship. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, hoping to see you traveling safely to a weekend cruise soon.